Greetings, it's Sakari here again. Greetings from my home. I'm here doing a channeling today, sharing whatever comes in this moment, but I feel like we're now gonna receive information about the Orion star race, which is of course a big part of this Earth's evolution, big part of its whole evolution. And Orion is like there are many star seeds from the Orion star system here on planet Earth. I've known many personally also, and yeah, I feel like currently we have stepped into a very positive timeline, even though it might not seem like it if you look at certain sources. But I do just wanna encourage you to understand and see that I feel that we're in a very positive timeline right now. This is what I've been told. This is what is coming from many different sources right now also. So hang in there. It's gonna get better. Yeah, without further ado, I don't want to take too much part in this discussion about recent events. I'll do it elsewhere. But in this video, I think we will just bring the channeling in for this moment at this time. So enjoy. We have some music in the background to help me concentrate. Living in an apartment here, it might sometimes be a little bit noisy, so I have some music to help me concentrate. Greetings, dear starseeds, dear light workers. We who now transmit information through Sakari represent the Arcturians, the Arcturian collective of 12, one of those 12 collectives of 12 who are observing how it is going there on planet Earth from our starships here, orbiting planet Earth. And in this moment, we also want to remind you that you are being protected by us and many other alliances of races who are now observing very closely what is going on your planet Earth. So remember this, dear ones, you are being protected. Nothing like that will be allowed to happen that would cause any mass chaos on your planet. So we just want to remind you of this. But now let's go into the subject of today, which is continuing on the star races, alien races series, and this race today, which comes from the Orion star system, is a race which has been also involved in the development of planet Earth and the human race for a very long time already. And this race or species or origination point, which we are now channeling information about, comes from the star system of Orion. So, the race or species or originating point of this starseed type, alien species type, ET race type today will be Orion. Those who are originating from the Orion's belt and the stars residing on that system. There are many stars there, many who have also now incarnated on planet Earth from this star system, and these beings, these souls coming from the Orion star system, are souls who have worked also very closely with the evolution and development of planet Earth. The Orion star species, alien species, ET species, starseed origin species represents such an energy that they have very much power on their path. Their path is full of gaining power and working with power and learning how to deal with that power. This is why many Orion starseeds are now incarnated also on planet Earth to go through lessons where they are letting go of that power and fixing things that have gone wrong, so to speak. There is no wrong, of course, but there are things that have put the Orion starseed and the Orion race out of balance by going too deep into the power and too deep into the attraction of the power. So many starseeds now are here at this time on planet Earth to fix this imbalance in their history. The karmic connections to many wars that the Orion star system has taken part of are now being fixed by many of those starseeds who have chosen to walk the path of the light in this lifetime. So we would just like to share in this beginning a little bit information about this, why so many Orion starseeds might be going through difficult experiences in their life in this time, when the time of the great transformation and the time of the great purging is also going on planet Earth. This provides the Orion starseeds and Orion ETs who are now incarnated here opportunity to let go of that imbalance, but many of them have had to go through very difficult experiences in their life in order to dismantle that fear, dismantle that destruction, dismantle that which they have caused in their previous lives while being incarnated as Orion beings. Now we just bring a little bit of reminder of this for those who are here incarnated as Orion starseeds and have gone through these very difficult things. Just know you will get through it. You will manage through it. You will, in the end, finish your mission and completely integrate your aspects into the light also. But now we will bring information about the characteristics of the Orion starseed and the Orion race. The Orion starseed is such a starseed race, especially when incarnate on planet Earth, that the qualities of this origin are very clearly seen if you have the eye for it. The most clear aspect of an Orion starseed incarnated as human at this time is such that they have a very powerful way of using their voice, of activating their throat chakra, even to the point of being able to charm people, control people, and lure people into their businesses, if we dare to say it is in this way also. But they are now also learning how to use that power to gain gentle control of that power, so that they will not anymore use it for such destructive things that they have done in the past. So the Orion race is very powerful when it comes to using sound and sound technologies, and they have an inner understanding of how sound relates to the structures of the universe and how even sound can be used to make weapons and even healing techniques and all kinds of technologies that they have invented in the past and even controlled in very manipulated ways. We are now bringing information about this manipulation and this kind of destructive aspects of the Orion race also, because that is something many people are fearing right now when they might encounter an Orion starseed. This fear might come from connection to these starseeds from another life, or a connection to a past life where they both have been incarnated in a conflict where the Orion party was part of. But know that you are also here to help the collective of Orion to disintegrate that fear and history of destruction. So we would say in this timeline, in this time space, if you meet Orions on your path, even spiritually or physically, would be good to have a projection of love towards them always. This will help you and the others to go towards on this path. Now we will concentrate more on the inner qualities of an Orion soul who is incarnated as human, and why we bring more about information about starseeds incarnated as humans now is because many of you who are listening to this have connections to Orion or might be from Orion and are interested more in this aspect. The Orion starseed can be such that they can be very charming. They can have this very alluring way of talking, speaking, looking at people, and bringing them together in a way, gathering masses of people even to listen to them. They have this innate ability to speak and use their voice in a way that goes deep into the listener's psyche even. And many who are dealing with Orion starseeds might be feeling that I am very wanting to help this person. I am really believing what this person is saying. And in this way, this skill of the Orion starseed is something that they really have to use in a very conscious way in order to achieve the light path aspect of themselves. So it might be a challenge for them to be lured into using their skills to just gain personal fame, personal power, because that is very easy for them. So for many Orion starseeds, the big challenge at this lifetime is to understand the balance between light and dark, and the balance between ego and the spirit, and the balance between using these aspects in a healing, constructive way, in such a way that serves the greater good. But when our Orion starseed decides to do their work, nothing can really stop them if they really decide to go forwards with that. Especially here on planet Earth, where people are ready to take in, let's say, suggestions and commands even through the throat chakra, using the voice, because it is in such an important part of the human life is communication through voice. So when an Orion starseed decides to use their whole abilities to work with the light, they can have very powerful ways to communicate with all those who are ready to listen. They can have very charming abilities to bring people into light also. So this is good to remember. The Orion starseed is very powerful also many times. The heart chakra, the throat chakra are very, when balanced, can be a very powerful field in such a starseed who originates from the Orion star system. Their ways of communicating and their ways of using their healing skills also, when they have found enough balance to discover those, can be such that they have great power in removing any negative influences, great power in removing any ailments in the body also through using the internal sound engine, so to speak. They have already inbuilt methods of utilizing the inbuilt sound, the voiceless sound, the so-called inner sound that can be used for healing also in a very effective ways if they decide to do so. The Orion starseeds also have come here to evolve together as with the galactic consciousness, to connect more to the galactic races, to the galactic bigger consciousness level that is now being connected in planet Earth, on planet Earth. When many different starseeds come here to work together, they are acting as many times as politicians even, or representatives of their race. So many Orion starseeds have come now here on this planet to help themselves become part of the galactic collective once again more, and dismantle all that previous karma, like we previously said. So many of their roles are also at this time to act as politicians, speakers, leaders, musicians, anybody who is represented in the public eye is something our Orion starseed might be very good at if they choose to do that. They have an innate ability to find also very powerful inner peace through meditation, through sitting down, through being with their inner voice. They have many clairvoyant abilities since they are being born even. Clairvoyant means hearing things, seeing things from a very high level even, and bringing that into the planet Earth using their abilities. Many Orion starseeds have chosen now to walk this path of bringing information, bringing healing, bringing healing technologies, bringing connections to the higher realms in this life. Many of those are also working through the music industry and the sound technologies. They have come here prepared already with the inner sound being expressed through the outer sound and connecting people to the healing patterns through that. So these are just some of the abilities of the Orion starseeds that can be beneficial for Orion starseeds to discover within themselves. Now we will share a little bit history about the Orion race in order to understand more about the history and in order to dismantle some of the fear that is connected in this Orion starseed race. It is true that the Orions were part of big wars where the planet Mars and even planet Earth were part of in the distant past. They were part of that war that happened on planet Mars, which led to the destruction of planet Mars. They were not alone responsible for it, but there were a lot of influence from the Orions to make Mars deserted. They had used these kind of sound weapons, detonated huge sound weapons on the planet there at some point in the distant past, leading to the destruction of all life that did not manage to escape underground on Mars. Yes, we say underground on Mars, there is still life on Mars, but let's not go too much into that. You will discover more about that later. But we say the Orion race, they really had to look at their evolution at that point when they decided to use these weapons to cause mass destruction. This is also partly why they are here at this time, to make sure that the planet Earth does not follow the same path. They are here to make sure that we as leaders make decisions, as humans make decisions as leaders that do not lead to this scenario where mass weapons of destruction are being used. They have already seen the humans experimenting with this, and since that time, many Orion starseeds decided to incarnate here to help the humans and the planet Earth not to go down that same destructive path. They say they saw their error in their ways and discovered that it did not bring them more power. Instead, it led them down the evolution and gave them a lot of karmic ties to dismantle and disintegrate. A lot of destruction they have went through in order to share also and heal from that. So they have now chosen a part of that race, or most of the Orions have chosen to go through the path of light in order to evolve past 6D, 7D, and even 8D dimensional aspects of themselves. They have realized that the God light, the creator light, allows only those who work with the light patterns, the light side of the consciousness. So they are now here on planet Earth also to share information to the earthly leaders, very directly even. Many Orion starseeds are incarnated as politicians or somebody who are very close to the leaders on this planet. They have the ability to do that through the connection of planet Earth and its leaders also having negative connections in the past with the Orions and other races that are connected to the Orions. So, this way they are here to help and dismantle whatever they did wrong in the past, so to speak. We just want to share this information in order for you to understand more about these aspects of the Orion starseed. The Orion has been also a very important factor for the evolution of planet Earth. The humans looking into that over thousands and thousands of years already, looking into the Orion star system for guidance and even working with beings from that system in the ancient Egypt, in the ancient land of Mu, which was before Atlantis, and in the ancient land of Lemurian also. In these times, the Orion people were here, the Orion starseeds, the Orion races were even here in more physical forms, in more alien forms, sharing their technology to help humankind build things to the sound technologies. So they have been here helping human race also, and when human race was still more evolved, more conscious on the path. But now in this time, their mission is more about retribution, fixing, and karmic ties being cut into the past. We will still say that remember, if you are Orion starseed, whatever you are facing, it's part of your path on this lifetime. It might be very difficult to look at the things you have gone through, and you might still feel pulled into that old world, into that old darkness you have been through. But we as Arcturians encourage you to just look at that, just look at it and say no, I choose otherwise, I choose a new path. And this way you will choose evolution, you will choose to develop as a race, you will choose to develop as a soul. So this is our reminder still about the Orion starseed race. And now we end this transmission. We were the Arcturians, always serving with light and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was not the easiest channeling to do. Actually, I've tried to do it once before, maybe I guess twice. Yeah, there's some like difficulty in bringing such information when it's focused on this maybe negative aspects also. And personally, I've met many Orion starseeds, women mostly, and they do have a very powerful presence. And I've also experienced this darkness that was spoken in that, and I can understand that. I've seen many channelers, healers, even fear of working with the Orion beings, because their strength can be so powerful, and it can be so difficult to deal with even when going into these matters of history of destruction and so on, and the forces who are working there still in some way. But I hope I did a good job transmitting this information, and I hope this serves, although I kind of have to say that this was not the easiest channeling to do. Whenever we're dealing with channeling information that relates to events and so on, like the Mars event and so on. I've heard about that before from many different sources also. Like I had a friend even who remembered that he was there on Mars pressing that button when the destruction happened. He was there seeing this button being pressed and the weapons being detonated. So these are not so easy to bring information. So it's good to remember also these are just points of view also. So I hope this helps in some way. And if you're interested in more about the Orions and their history, there's a lot of information online. But I can recommend, for example, Crystal links. I can put the link here. There's good information about this kind of information of history of the galactic races, and also how Orion has been involved in human politics and history and power battles. So yeah, hope this helps a little bit. This was Sakari. See you again on the next video. Thank you, thank you, thank you.